A major diplomatic storm is brewing in Latin America, with President Donald Trump taking a hardline stance against Colombia's leader, Gustavo Petro. This escalating conflict threatens to disrupt the region's delicate balance of power. Trump's recent actions have sent shockwaves through the alliance between the United States and Colombia, one of its closest partners in the region. In a dramatic move, Trump announced that the US will be cutting aid to Colombia and imposing tariffs on its exports, citing Petro's alleged inaction against drug production. In a scathing social media post, Trump referred to Petro as an illegal drug leader and warned him to shut down drug operations or face the consequences. Trump's words were strong, leaving little room for interpretation. The United States will close them up for him, and it won't be done nicely. But here's where it gets controversial. Trump's accusations against Petro are not without response. Petro, an active social media user, has vehemently denied the allegations, asserting that he is committed to fighting narcotics in Colombia, the world's largest exporter of cocaine. He suggested that Trump might be misinformed by his advisors and emphasized his own role as the main enemy of drugs in his country. The Colombian government has also spoken out, with the foreign ministry describing Trump's statement as a direct threat to national sovereignty. Defense Minister Pedro Sanchez highlighted the country's efforts and sacrifices in the fight against drug trafficking. This clash between the US and Colombia comes at a time when tensions in Latin America are already high. The US has increased pressure on neighboring Venezuela and its leader, Nicolas Maduro, deploying naval ships, fighter jets, and drones in the region for what it calls an armed conflict with drug cartels. Trump has also authorized covert operations inside Venezuela. Colombia, however, has long been a US ally and the top recipient of American assistance in the region. But the situation is complex. Coca cultivation reached an all-time high last year, according to the United Nations, and there has been fresh violence in rural areas, challenging the government's efforts to maintain peace. In September, the Trump administration accused Colombia of failing to cooperate in the drug war, despite issuing a waiver of sanctions that would have triggered aid cuts. Colombia received an estimated $230 million in US aid for the budget year ending September 30th, a significant drop from previous years. Petro and Trump's relationship has been strained throughout the year, with disputes over US military flights of deported migrants and American strikes on boats in the Caribbean. Petro has accused the US of assassination, pointing to a strike that allegedly killed a Colombian fisherman with no ties to drug trafficking. Despite the tensions, Petro's government plans to prosecute a Colombian survivor of a recent US strike on a submersible allegedly carrying drugs. Meanwhile, another survivor was repatriated to Ecuador, where he will not face charges. The ELN, a Colombian rebel group, has denied any involvement in drug trafficking and offered to submit to international scrutiny. However, US strikes in the region have continued, with at least 32 people killed since early September. Trump's actions have not gone unnoticed by analysts. Elizabeth Dickinson, a senior analyst for the Andes region, described the US alienation of its strongest military partner in Latin America as profoundly unwise at a time of heightened tensions with Venezuela. The potential impact of further aid cuts is significant. It could affect military cooperation and undermine efforts to combat rebel groups, leading to a strategic loss of capability for the Colombian military and police at a critical moment in the country's security crisis. As this story unfolds, one question remains. Will the US and Colombia find a way to resolve their differences, or will this clash escalate further, potentially reshaping the geopolitical landscape of Latin America?